Okay, thanks for joining us, folks, on another Family Through Service, a V2VG video podcast.
Pause. Did you have to think about it?
I did. I did have to think about it. It's been a little bit.
It has, indeed, with everything going on. So
it's been a little bit. We went on vacation, and then I had surgery, and then all this stuff.
New policy coming. No medical attention within 2 weeks of vacation.
That's a fact. And you'll see me taking sips as we go because, well, you see me taking sips anyway because I'm unprofessional that way.
Yeah.
So that's how it goes. So Chuck, lead us into where we're going to be headed today. We have an interesting topic and a topic expert, we can say.
Yes, I guess so.
Sort of.
Which is great. So we have a guest who is my son's very good friend, Kai, who is transgender from male to female. Right? Am I saying this right?
Mm-hmm.
So the basic of what we wanted to kind of get into is the aspect of, and I truly don't believe that it's the LGBT community that's pushing. I think it's more on the political aspect that's pushing for this whole MAPS, minor attracted people, which is also known as fucking pedophiles,
right.
Being part of that community.
Well, MAP just sounds nicer, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It sounds cleaner, nicer, prettier.
So, but...
whatever you want to call it.
I just wanted to give an opportunity to kind of explain your story. So, at a relatively early age, you truly felt that you were, kind of...
Since the beginning.
And
my parents knew, everybody knew.
And I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty because at another time I do want to do a conversation of your whole process. But
that would be great. People need to know stuff like that.
And it's so much more intense than what a lot of people think, which we already talked about privately. But you started your transition when you were about 13.
I came out when I was 13. I didn't really start the transition process till I was about 14.
Okay. So you've gone through every aspect except for, I guess they call the bottom surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Gender reassignment surgery.
Okay. Is still something that you battle with.
Yeah.
So you don't know if you want to or you don't want to. It's just kind of a constant, as we call, brain splinter.
It's more of a, I don't know if I want to pay the money.
Yeah. Is it worth to pay that much money, or should I still be able to pee standing up? Like,
big expense. I'm sure that it's not cheap.
And I gotta say right up front, Kai is probably. I mean, I don't know many. I mean, we have a few people that are associated with transgender people, but Kai is the first one I know personally, and great sense of humor. Kai's been. Well, I think I want to be known as he and she, and now I've been told it's either she or them, and and actually you heard this on speaker, and I was like,
we were down south, yeah.
If there's not more than one of you, I'm not calling you them, and Kai laughed, and so to me, I think this is how, no matter what side politically you're on, you're able to have a genuine discussion. And be able to agree to disagree or maybe come to a common ground. So you're 21 now,
mm-hmm.
and so you live almost a full lifestyle of being a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And you get some pretty good support from your friends,
everybody,
even your family.
Awesome.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that's important. And any situation, I think,
having support is a good thing. Yeah, because
it's
living your
important.
life with no support is gotta suck.
Yep.
So but with that, and so do you know what all the letters mean? Because I don't. The L is lesbian, gay,
trans, bisexual, asexual,
and
then
I think
just
it's like
queer, which is just like a common term for everything.
I think it's like 2 A's now. It's like
age.
It's
then
like
asexual, agender.
Yeah, it's like they add stuff, I guess. But I'm glad you know, because I only knew 2 of those letters. I only knew 2. I only knew 2 of the letters, and again, you're not an academic expert. as far as any of this stuff. But you're a personal expert in the fact that you live this life. You have been involved with the gay pride parades. You've been involved with trying to educate other people on your story.
Yeah.
So this is, we kind of wanted to get a little bit more of your opinion. If clearly you can't speak for the entire community, but your opinion from the other people you know in your situation and how they feel as far as having pedophiles, one, put into an acronym that sounds less disgusting and honestly sounds like, you know, the Dora cartoon.
MAP.
Which is, you know, frustrating. So we have that aspect, and then we have the aspect of, oh, well, they are somehow part of the LGBT community.
I think it's two separate issues.
It is, right?
So there's the pedophile, the
Yes.
people who openly identify as pedophiles say, well, we don't like the word pedophile, so we want to be identified as MAP or MAPS, minor attracted persons.
Still the same thing.
It's the same
Same
thing,
thing.
right?
It's so weird.
But it's like, but MAP sounds cleaner, nicer, prettier, and then they want to take it a step further, and then they want to be attached to the LGBTQA. I don't know it because it changes too, but they want to be attached to the more accepted. I don't know if it's an acronym or a label or what it is, but they want to be attached to that more accepted, inclusive community. And so you have both of those things going on. So, yeah. How do you feel about the pedophiles wanting to be known as not pedophiles, but MAPS, and then being attached to the community that you're a part of, if you want to be known as part of that community, of course?
So, the term LGBT is basically stuff, you're born that way.
Sure.
Studies are saying that people who are pedophiles, they're not born that way.
Right.
They learn this nature. So which means it wouldn't even be considered part of the LGBT community because you're born those ways.
Yeah.
You learn how to be a pedophile and you choose to be a pedophile.
Mm-hmm.
So it's disgusting and also insulting when these people are like, yeah, we're part of the LGBT community, because you're not.
Yeah.
So from your
You're
perspective, it's
disgusting.
like not no, but hell no.
It's more of a fuck no.
and I do want to specify, because we had a little bit of this talk yesterday, and Kai and I agree on a lot with this specific topic. The one thing we don't agree on is that Kai is far more forgiving than I am, where I absolutely feel there's no reason for these individuals to live, like, especially if you're going past the first arrest, where Kai is more like, you know, they should live and suffer through, you know, life in prison. Eric, you're, I think, more of a case-by-case situation.
I am, and that's probably because of my faith, but if it's a learned behavior, in theory, it can be unlearned. But that's a tough theory. It also depends on whether they've acted on it. Mm-hmm. Minor attracted person who's a pedophile in their mind, is far different than a person who's acted out these thoughts.
Things, yeah.
Yes,
these attractions.
And to
now,
some degree,
a person who's committed these crimes, I'm starting to kind of go over to your camp a little bit here.
Yeah. And, you know, I think what's important to identify, too, is that you can be part of the LGBT community. Like, you can be a lesbian or gay and still be a pedophile. And I think
that's actually a good point,
and
right?
I think it's important because the LGBT community is not just being born with it, but it's a complete lifestyle of consenting adults all the way through.
Yes.
Right? I mean, have you ever encountered somebody that was like, I'm LGBT, but only because my parents said, or you know, or because this person said we should date? Like,
no.
it's a consent.
Never.
And
Right, that'd be a little
It's never. It's completely grooming and attacking innocent individuals, specifically children
who don't know better and can't protect themselves. Frankly,
and so
exactly.
I think that's a big difference as well. But yeah, you can be part of the community and still commit those crimes. And I guess in a way, if I was part of the community, which I'm not, but if I were and I lived the struggle that you guys live, I would be more willing to deem that person a pedophile than allowing them back into the community. I wouldn't look at them.
You mean
still
somebody
as,
who happens to be straddling the fence, as it were, and both as legitimate community and then as a pedophile?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
I was trying to follow along for a second.
Because of how it attacks, how it's completely attacking innocent individuals such as children. Now, but again, I'm speaking from the outside now. How would you feel if you knew someone who was part of the community but did commit those crimes? Not just a thought, but actually committed a crime against a minor person, as said.
I wouldn't talk to them again.
Upset.
I would distance myself as far away as I possibly can, because I do have a past with that.
Yeah.
And, I was 14. But a lot of it now is because there's not enough education in the LGBT community, and there's more access to,
completely agree,
like Tinder and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's a
Tinder.
good point.
So
porn,
now it's kind of,
all those things are. So I mean,
it's getting
porn in actual network TV.
Porn,
so
softcore porn,
close.
however you want
Yeah,
to label it, is
I mean,
so readily available.
And you take a show like The Walking Dead, and every episode someone's almost completely naked, or you'll see a guy's ass or whatever.
It's a desensitization thing. People are just like, but
sex
little
and
kids
sell, right?
Sex and violence sell. Blood, sex, violence.
Yeah.
And it's the way it goes.
Well, good for you for being a survivor of that traumatic event, and we take being a victim and a survivor as two different things, and we
do
absolutely praise those who have come past that to move on with their life. But in your history of being part of this community, have you ever come across anybody who has been openly welcoming for MAPS individuals or pedophiles?
No, not at all. Most of that, I can't say this for certain. Well, I'm going to say probably 99 to 95% of the community does not agree with this.
Okay.
Because, like I said, it's insulting to be compared to somebody like that.
Again, because it's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's just...
And it's
they're just children.
It's not okay.
They don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
So, well, they do, but...
Now, I mean, I don't want to speak for anybody, but I personally believe that this has been part of a political agenda, and I think it's been kind of riding on the fence for both sides. I don't think that it's just the left or just the right. Where do you guys stand? Do you guys feel like this is part of a political, agenda, propaganda, trying to introduce these, what are known to be criminals, into this, what has fought so hard to be...
To try to legitimize them? Ooh, that's a tough question.
We only ask the tough ones.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. I know that there are powerful forces at play that are trying to legitimize pedophilia by trying to link it with this.
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, I'm not turning and recreating the wheel here.
Yeah.
But I mean, we wouldn't be talking about it if it wasn't happening. But whether it's a political agenda or a psycho agenda, I'm not exactly sure.
Like a societal
agenda.
I gotcha.
Like a cultural agenda. I don't know. I guess I would lean more towards a cultural acceptance agenda as opposed to a political agenda. And if it's a political agenda, I don't think it's both sides of the aisle.
Where do you stand?
Equally, anyway.
I think, both of them bounce off each other.
They do.
I do agree, and I never thought of the
'Cause-
societal aspect. But
If society starts doing something, it's going to go into more of a political thing.
It has to.
So right now, I'm going to say it's more of a cultural, society-based
and
thing.
that makes sense.
But then it's soon going to go up to...
And I think
Well, it would have to. Right?
Yeah,
because
it would
if
have
they get
to.
a foothold in there, a legitimate foothold, then there's not going to be long before a politician starts to say, "Well, I will advance your cause,"
and
and then it's definitely political.
And that's
Yep.
right. That's kind of the steps, right? So you have a movement, you have a mission, and you get a group of people to follow the movement, and it turns into an active mission.
Mm-hmm.
But in order for it to be acknowledged, it has to go through some political routes. I mean, there
It
has to be a
It has to.
political person.
Yeah.
You know,
Somebody has to, again, to
Yeah.
beat the dead horse of the word, somebody has to legitimize
exactly
the movement by making it political.
Yep.
And that's the stage it would get to.
Yeah, and which I think is it's interesting because we also talked about the Gay Pride Parade yesterday, and not Kai, it was actually interesting. Kai was the quiet one during the conversation, but I personally I'm against it from where it stands now, and my son's wife Laura is the opposite, and which she's not part of the community, so it was really funny that us two were bickering, but in the end,
And Kai's like, yeah.
you know,
I'm over here
well,
like, this is why it started.
yes, exactly. And I was just gonna say, in the end, while we were arguing, Kai actually looked up the history, and we talked about the history, and we talked about what it was in. I think you said 59 is when it like kind of
69.
69.
69.
When
yeah.
it established
June 26,
to
69.
what it is in 2022.
The
And
hippies.
it's not all of the parades, because I don't live in Rhode Island, but I hear Rhode Island has some really good ones as far as healthy, not indoctrinating children, where most it seems to be kind of more of a sexualization in the open atmosphere. And we talked about how it lost the fundamental meaning, you know.
Oh,
of
from
what,
legitimizing.
yeah,
It kind of became more of a kind of something just to party over than going back to like 69. There was a raid in Stonewall, which started from police officers
Sure.
because it was illegal. So then after that, every year they had a parade to fight back, saying, this is who we are, you know.
We want legality, rights.
We don't want to
Yeah.
be murdered anymore. We don't want to be shot.
Yeah.
We don't want to be harassed. We just want to live our life.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's actually a movie on it, which was really good.
What?
I think it was just called Stonewall.
Stonewall.
And it's important, right, to know, just like
We'll look it up and put it in the
Every-
description if I can.
every law that's out there may not be moral, depending on what religion you believe
Oh,
in.
that's
but-
every law is not moral.
But
yeah.
every law may also not just simply be right. I mean, clearly trying to, I mean, if it was okay to just kill all the Jews during Nazi Germany, and the world accepted it, then I guess it would be accepted to do that to the LGBT
well,
communities.
just because it's
But-
legal doesn't make it right.
Exactly.
You know?
But it wouldn't even be societally accepted when you're looking at other groups of people being genocided just because of who they are and what they are.
Well, I think
So-
genocide and any form is it's totally evil and wrong.
Yeah.
you know? Because you can't single out anybody or any group like that because it's just not right.
And we had we really did. We had probably like a 2 or 3 hour discussion the first night you were here, and it was very. In fact, I had to remove Laura from it because she was interrupting and she was getting in the way of the first person perspective I was trying to get. and Laura, she was actually really cool because it was not a heated argument. It was genuine question. It was
Like we
it
talked
wasn't.
about
It was more
before.
investigative. I was
Yeah.
trying to understand a lot of your story and where you fit with a lot of things. We talked about the whole. At what point is it okay to educate children on it, and a whole bunch of things. And I do, like I said, I want to do a phone interview with you, because I don't know when the next time you guys will have time to come up. But
That'd be if you're up for it, that'd be cool.
The education one, I think, is so big right now. It would be a great conversation to have. But
I'll get the information later. Yeah.
but I want to give you the opportunity to kind of, if you were to had the chance to speak to somebody who was, like we said, of 13, 14, who has been kind of concerned with their own life and their own sexuality, what kind of a message would you want to send them? And don't say, go get murdered by police, because that's not okay.
Like nowadays?
Just from your perspective, from the things you've been through, what would you try and encourage them to do, what not to do?
Yeah. Wrap up the video with some advice.
I know, I put you on the spot.
Just, like, ask questions. Don't go out. Don't try stuff on your own. Ask questions. Find a secure space. Because I think in not most towns, every city does have, like, a pride area where, like, youth pride we have in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Where children can come in. They can learn about LGBT history. They can ask questions while surrounded by LGBT people, and have a safe space to go to if they get hurt or something. Like, find one of those places, because they do give you the most support. They were going to help me find housing.
Yeah. And I mean, social media is big too. I imagine that there has to be some sort of an organization that is based on, kind of protecting and guiding confused individuals into, into the safest way to do things, opposed to, don't just go to your, Southern Baptist church and have it beaten out of you, or Scientology or whatever, but actually go to, like, a social media aspect that could benefit in giving you some answers.
Like, all over Facebook, there's, like, LGBT youth groups.
So there are things out there, which is important. And and I do, again, we didn't do it at the beginning. Again, I wanted to specify, as far as, one, we don't ever speak on veteran-to-veteran groups' behalf, unless it's a law or a policy we're talking about. But also in our organization, our position with religion and politics is we don't have a position.
Correct.
So this is supposed to be educational. It's not supposed to sway people one way or the other. We have our personal views. You have your personal views, and we just wanted to kind of, express some of that information to others that follow us, so that they can, understand that. And like I said to Laura, I may be against the modern version of gay pride parades, but since you've been here and since you've known me, I've never been disrespectful to you. So I think there is, you're able to be respectful of individuals, and not agree with the modernization of what used to be a good movement.
Yeah.
And so I think
a lot of movements have been disrupted by modernization.
And
feminist movement, for one.
Absolutely.
So on and so forth.
And even we've seen it with the BLM, and everything is going on
BLM,
with
all
that.
that stuff.
So
started off with a great concept, and then political as politics corrupts everything.
My last
money
question,
does.
Yeah, well,
And money.
And that's all involved.
Oh, money. Yeah.
My last question to you would be, what was up to date, not including the down surgery, what has been the most difficult hump for you to get over? What has been the most difficult challenge for you personally?
Society.
Oh,
Because so I am trans. I do identify as a woman, but I'm not. When you see a trans person, you're thinking long hair, nails out there, wherever, showing off their body. Like, I'm not like that. I'm gonna throw on jeans and a t-shirt. I'm not gonna put on nails. I don't love long hair. I'm more of a masculine kind of person.
So you
But I
don't
still
fall
identify
into
as
the
a female.
stereotypical.
Trans person.
Gotcha.
Which it makes it difficult for other people to accept, because they don't really understand. They don't really understand.
So there is sort of spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought
There's a
about
big
that
spectrum
aspect either.
in everything.
Not even the haters, which are always going to be an issue for any group, but like you said, the everyday societal, because you're not falling into that stereotypical
Neat little category.
Yeah. That's great perspective. I really appreciate it. Eric, do you have any last questions?
Nope. I just want to reiterate what you said. We're interviewing you, Kai, to give our viewers a first-hand account and give them some information they can take forward and make up their own opinions and views. And I really appreciate you taking the time to sit with us and tell us what you think and how you feel, because we don't get this opportunity very often.
Or ever.
Or ever. Or since now, ever. So it's been a pleasure, and thank you very much.
And Kai, do you have any last words you want to say before we...
Not that I can think of.
No? All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thanks.